Hello, my friend. My name is Shantae. Welcome. Today we are going to talk about the truth of who you really are and what is the soul. And this is such a powerful concept because once you understand this, it's like you go from going around in circles and circles in your journey to getting on the highway and growing really fast. I wish I had known this years ago when I started my spiritual path because I would have been able to grow faster and realize the wonder and the magic of who I am. But before we begin, I just want to burn some sage because I find it really grounding. It's also called smudging. So I just invite you to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Connect to your heart. That's it, my friend. We live in such a noisy world and everything is one big dopamine hit. So let's slow down. Let's slow down because when we slow down and we tune into our heart, it's like we start to peer through the veil and we start to see the other side and we realize the magic of who we really are. And this world, it feels like the world we live in is just one big distraction. Everything is a distraction. Even a lot of the spiritual advice out there is a distraction because when you slow down and you connect to your heart, you can start to peer through the veil and see the spiritual worlds, which is where you belong. You have this umbilical cord to those worlds because that's where you actually exist. You're just in this matrix, this temporary game of life to evolve your soul. So let's start with what is a soul? Because a soul is something so beautiful. And I'm only sharing what I know so far, a few years into this journey, and this will just continue to evolve. I think the soul is a mystery that our human mind will never fully understand. We will never fully be able to appreciate. I'm just going to move this because there is so much smoke. But it's really the magic of who you are. I think until we realize the truth of who we are, we just go around in circles and circles and we struggle in life. We get caught down by the same things. We have the same pains and traumas come up. It's like the wound is reopened all the time. And we find it very hard to get out of the muck of this world, especially when it comes to making difficult decisions, leaving harmful, toxic relationships or environments. It becomes very hard to do that until you realize the truth of who you are. So your soul is actually your truth, and your human form is a temporary form so that you can have senses, so that you can experience the magic of this world. But the soul is the truth of who you are, and your soul is actually divine. And what I mean by that is that your soul is like this tiny, tiny mirror that reflects the Almighty, the all bountiful Creator. She is the Creator. She is the one Creator. There's only one. There can only be one. How can there be more than one Creator? It doesn't make sense, right? Because then there's conflict, like who makes decisions if there's multiple gods or beings or forces. We are all part of her. We just have different capacities. We have different mirrors. And the whole point is to reflect her. So when you go on the journey on your spiritual path, what you're actually doing is eroding the things that are holding you down, the lower nature of yourself. It's like your ego. The ego is dying so that you become her. And what's amazing about the spiritual path is that the more you realize that your greatness and your awesomeness is actually her, the more you reflect her. The moment that you think that your divinity is you and the power is you and your force is just you, your power actually dies. It's like a humbling process. But what I think is really interesting about the soul is that our whole journey is just returning home. We're just returning home to a place that we were at the beginning of our journey. We were in her presence, and then all those memories were wiped. There was a moment when we were all with her, we were in her presence, and kind of like the matrix, we just were wiped and coming into this world. And we go on this journey to return home. And I think there's a lot that I still don't understand about the spiritual world, to be honest with you, because I think, like, what's the point then? Like, what's the point of coming back? And what I know about this divine being is that she exists without us. She exists without creation. She existed before any of this was made. And this solar system is not the only solar system. And the Big Bang, the one we're in now, is not the only time we've had a Big Bang. So there's been many Big Bangs that created this Earth, and there are many Earths, there are many solar systems. Think about it. Every single star is a sun. So our sun is a star, and when you look up at the night sky, every single star is a sun, which means every single one of those stars has planets circling around it, hovering around like we are in these circles and moving through the galaxy. So then we have to get back to the simplicity of it all. And what is so beautiful is that the only reason why she created us is because she wanted to be known. And when you realize the spiritual journey is a love story, that everything in spirit is love, you were created out of love. The journey home is love. It's not the mind. It kind of feels so sweet. It's like she wanted us to fall in love with her and come home to her. She just wanted to be known. Like, that's all it is. That's the soul. And I think we are eternal, most of us. And that's the topic we'll get to down the track. And I think there is no limit to how much you can evolve and grow. Like, the moment that you think you have reached your full spiritual capacity, you've just entered a new level, and you're at the bottom of that level, and then you go up and up and up. And the spiritual growth of your soul is not dependent on this world, but you're in this world to be trained, to learn, to interact, to discover her. You're just finding her. And when you find yourself, you're actually finding her in your heart. Your true self is just her. And I think this is one of the wonders of the spiritual path, because you will always retain some sense of identity. Like, when you pass on, you'll look the way that you did in your peak of which earthly experience you had. Some of us will come back to earth and start again. We get like another chance. It's like, okay, let's try that again. Some of us will come back because we're here to elevate. We're here to bring others home, back to her, the chosen ones. And some of us don't come back. We just evolve to whatever we did. And many of us are just we haven't even started the journey. And then we just end up in this place, and it's a place that is very cold, because we are separated from her when we didn't find her. So this life is such a beauty, because the whole point of everything is to find her. So when you realize your spiritual path is to return home and to grow your spiritual capacity, it makes life on earth so much easier, because you know where you want to spend your time, who you want to interact with or not interact with, and what is your contribution to the world. And it makes it easier to pass through the tests, because your ultimate goal is to find her. There's a beautiful quote from Baha'u'llah that says, "The soul hath been created for the remembrance of the friend." It's just to remember her. I think when we realize this concept of who we are, it becomes an anchor for our life. It becomes an anchor for our spiritual path. And then we start the journey of building this relationship with her. I think when we don't have that, when we don't know who we are like cut off, if that makes, like, we're never cut off, but we're kind of cut off. And that's why we struggle so much. It's a good analogy is like when you're on this path and you're holding a rope, And when life hits you with so much pain, or people who are not connected to their own divinity, their own higher self, cause harm, boy, do they cause harm. You're holding on to a rope of yourself, thinking, oh, it's just me, I have to do this on my own, I just need to find my own self. But when that happens and you're knocked off your feet, your rope is not held on to anything. And so you tumble and you fall. It's like falling off a building, but you never land. You just keep falling into a darkness that gets darker and darker as you go down. That's why we have to build a relationship with her directly, not through someone, not through a friend, not through a healer, not through a pastor or a priest, not through some community or influencer, or anything that anyone tells you that they're the channel to her. That's a red flag. We just have to build that relationship with her, but we can't build it until we realize who we really are, which is a beautiful soul. And when you start to understand the magic of who you are, that you're this spiritual being having a human experience, it helps you let go of the things that are not who you are, or the stories that people have put on you, the limitations they've put on you, the identities you have in this world that are not popular, are not desired by our society or collective. You can shed all of that and know your truth and stand in dignity of who you are and make all your decisions from righteousness, the higher self of who you are, regardless of what anyone thinks about you. So my friend, I hope that helps you find the magic. It helps you to realize that once you anchor to that you are a soul, you build a foundation, and that's the path you walk on your spiritual path. That you always remember you're a soul and all you're doing is returning home to her. You're just looking for her in everything. And the truth is, you'll find her through the heart. You'll find her through the heart and through love. It's all love. It is all love, my friend. Thank you.
I think I see it on the horizon, now I feel it. And I'm alive, but am I breathing? Fill my lungs so I can scream.